Hello there, my fellow holotable heroes. It's that time of the year where, it's time that we look back at the past year and see the progress we made in the game and maybe start thinking about the plans for the upcoming year. So what I'll do in this one, I'll just do my usual annual stuff. Well, annual. Last year I did it the first time where I kind of reviewed all the Omicrons I applied and kind of ranked them in certain categories and talked through them. So this one I'll just be going through the 2024 Omicrons that I applied and where I think they sit based on my experience. So let's first just review, I guess, the 2023 ranking list where we left off. So we got the OGs, so these were like my first 5 Omicrons that I don't want to rank. They hold a special place in my heart for good or worse. Then we in 2023, these were the Dust Collectors, so Omicrons that weren't used as much. Now these characters, they do get used, however their Omicrons don't really add much to the team. They get used either because they're territory war Omicrons in case of Mara and Trench, or Dash and Honda's Omicrons in Grand Arena are active. They don't seem really to do a whole lot in terms of boosting the defensive holds or win rates from my experience at least. For the guild, so this was the things that guild asked me as well to do in the past couple of years, so 2022 and 2023. Then we've got the annoying category, so these are the ones that are used but they don't really impact the battle a whole lot. They're just annoying to deal with. Then we had game changers in 2023 ranking list, so these are the ones that actually do give a significant boost to the team that allows them to do something they are not able to do without an Omicron, and also they can be a little bit of a handful on defense as well. Then we got the GLs category, so these are the Omicrons that essentially lift up the units and their teams to a status where they can compete with some of the galactic legends. And then next we had a TBD category, so these were just some of the Omicrons I applied towards the end of 2023. So I wasn't sure yet where to rate them, so maybe we'll just kind of add them in certain categories in this video just to give an update of where I think they land. And then this was up next maybe for the 2024, but as you can see no Omicrons were applied because by the time I had some Omicrons to spare, both rows, obviously Rose would be used under Fiend lead and then Asajj and the Night Sisters. Their Omicrons kind of lost viability by the time I actually had some to spare, so I did not actually apply to them at all. So I'm just gonna go ahead and remove this category. We don't have to worry about it for now. So then we have our list for 2024 so these are all the Omicrons I applied in 2024. So we'll be going through one by one unit and putting them in categories as we did for the 2023. But before we do that, I guess we should be talking about these that that time I said it was still too early to decide what category they fall in. So let's go ahead and I guess do that. So we got Dr. Aphra. I don't know, to be honest. Annoying. Is Aphra a game changer? Yeah, maybe once a year or every 2 years when she gets her Omicron she's a game changer, but for the most part I think that Dr. Aphra should go in the annoying category, at least from my experience. Also mind you, this is only a 5v5 Omicron, so it's not even active in 3v3. Now I know that Aphra in certain cases can take down Jabba, but again it's gonna be mostly Datacron dependent and things like that. And on defense she's just mostly annoying. There are many ways I think to take her down. Then we got Marin and Captain Rex. Now Marin in her own, the Omicron doesn't do a whole lot, but for 3v3 purposes it allows you to potentially one-shot Jabba with your Night Sisters. But again, it will depend on the Datacrons, but still, ability to take down a Galactic Legend, I would say, I don't know about you guys, but I would say that is game changing. And then in terms of Captain Rex, his Omicron, I would also say game changing because it allows Phoenix to beat Riva, and also he's such a great plug and play character. Check out the Omicron that he does. So obviously it does different things in 3v3, 5v5. Mainly in 5v5, I think Omicron is better, because whenever an ally is inflicted with ability block or daze, they dispel it. So any ally, so that's a total plug and play viability. You can put in any team, rebels, clones, heck, even Sith if you want or whatever. It will cleanse off the ability blocks and daze from everybody. So that thing alone really boosts, I think, Captain Rex to the game-changing status, at least for me. Same thing for Marines, like, you know, I guess the best case scenario, you're using it versus Jabba, but if your opponent sees that you're using Night Sisters to counter Jabba in 3v3, they might not put Jabba down on defense. That is game-changing. Same thing for Captain Rex. Your opponent sees, hey, you've got Captain Rex and a Phoenix squad leveled up. Hey, I'm not gonna put Riva down on defense in 5v5. So that is game-changing, at least in my opinion. So let's just go ahead and do these categories now. Alright, so let's find Marin, check her in, do Rex as well, and confirm and do game changers. 2023, because they were 2023 Omicrons, I just didn't have them rated then. Now this is a bit awkward, moving things up. You can't just drag and drop, so we're just gonna move them up one at a time. There we go. And so we got Afra under annoying, and then these two under game changers, and we can remove this one. Okay, so we kind of cleaned up the 2023 ranking, so let's just go ahead now and start making categories for the 2024. Boba, Sign of Django. I think it's just his leadership, wasn't it? Yeah, I mean, it's a territory war, so any territory war or territory battle, Omicron, it's gonna be for the guild, right? Like, I personally wouldn't ever apply that myself. So Boba is gonna be again for the guild. But this is now 2024 Omicron, so we're gonna do 2024. There we go. And we can move this up, and we'll see what else we have in the for the guild category as we're going through. Jedi Cal for the guild. It's a territory battle Omicron, so this was mainly done, so I don't have to bother remodding for this mission on Baraka in territory battles with Seer and Jedi Cal. So the Omicrons that you do apply for that is not his leadership, because unfortunately you can't use him in the lead. In that specific mission, that would be much better. It's, which one is it? Yeah, there we go, Whirlwind Slam. So that's the one, just gives him some extra protection up and things like that. So extra survivability and durability for Cal in that specific mission. So there we go, starting off with two for the guild Omicrons. Not much to say. Oh, Bane. Oh, I don't think we need to discuss where Bane goes, right? There we go, Bane, bomb. So I do have two Omicrons on him. I think these two are very important. It's not his lead. Rule of two, this is obviously the first one you will want to apply. Just gives you all these boosts that, you know, allows Bane to do what Bane does. And then the second one was Essence of Dominance. Just that you get a 2-turn cooldown increase instead. We get turn meter removal as well, turn meter gain, and we're also reducing the defense on the target, so this is pretty nice. So these two Omicrons are kind of, well, I guess unique is a must. This one is definitely will boost the viability of the team, whereas this one is not really all that useful. This is only when used under Sith Eternal Emperor, because guess what, Bane was designed to be a lifter for Sith Eternal, but Bane actually ended up being a better character than Sith Eternal Emperor, so I don't know. I almost feel like they a little bit missed the boat there. They could just leave Bane as is, and then Dark Ray should actually be, I think, at least, you know, looking at the whole situation. Supreme Colorant can already beat everything more or less. He didn't really need a lifter. But the Sith Eternal Emperor, because Bane is so good on his own, is still in need of a lifter. So they could just say, hey guys, we'll make Dark Ray the actual lifter for the Sith Eternal Emperor instead of Cal. Just my opinion. Anyway. Bane, I mean, you know, GLs, I mean, no other words to say. He's even better than some of the GLs that we have out there. Obviously, caveat with Bane is his offense only, really, because putting him, you can't just put 2 units on defense, right? And then just putting him like, I don't know, in some full Sith lineup, you just miss out on the whole rule of 2 benefit. Speaking of GLs, Malicos. Now, as you can see, I actually had Malicos already in the 2023, but that was just one of his Omicrons I had applied at that time. And then, as you know, the GSC seasons went on, more Datacrons were added, tougher Ray comps were put together. Really, to be able to counter any sort of Ray lineup, you will need all of his Omicrons applied, especially here in Kyber 1 when things are very competitive. So I did as well apply, come on, go in, there we go. So I don't know which one was the first one I had applied. Must be this one. So enemies can't be revived. I don't know. Is it this one? Enemies can't be revived the first time they recover. Take a bonus turn. This one. Force line users. Whenever. Oh yeah, there we go. So this was the first one that I applied, so that he will be attacking out of turn whenever you use a special ability. However, obviously to deal with the whole Ray ban situation, you will need this one as well. So that enemies can't be revived. You get some other bonuses as well. And then finally, to help with the damage on his AoE, also applied this one as well. So definitely Malicos is one of those units that all of his free Omicrons actually do serve a purpose and are useful. So definitely I'm very satisfied with putting all 3 Omicrons on him. So the last 2 I put in 2024. And then we have ourselves Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan started strong, but that was because of her Datacron, and obviously by the time I unlocked her, her Datacron expired. So I did not benefit from her Datacron. I wouldn't put her in the GL category, just even though she can beat like Lord Vader. I would just put her under game changing, because similar like Marine, where it might deter your opponent from putting Jabba on defense, Captain Rex might deter your opponent to put Reva on defense. Same thing, Bo-Katan basically eliminated Lord Vader on defense. So that alone, to me, is game changing, because it affects the meta of what people put on defense. So while Bo lately has been having limited use, for me at least personally, definitely struggling versus all these powerful Datacrons we have to deal with. Still, not having need to deal with Lord Vader on defense, or if somebody actually they do put him on defense, I'm yet to find a comp that I was not able to beat yet with Bo-Katan. There probably is like some really crazy comp with Lord Vader that Bo-Katan might struggle with, but I haven't experienced that yet myself. So we got a first row out of the way. Let's just get rid of that. Let's see who we have up next for the ranking. So a few more. We got Amidala. Do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna say Amidala is a GL. Because for the most part, she can defeat all the GLs pretty much, right? So that definitely puts her in the GL department. And good thing about Amidala is, really, she only needs 1 Omicron to do her job. So I only have this one that gives you, extra stat boost, some immunity to fear, things like that, dispelling things. But most importantly, we do get the decoy summoned at the start of the battle straight away. So this is really all what I personally need for Amidala to do her job. Was taking down Leia, taking down Rey as well. It will a little bit vary depending on Datacrons. In terms of her other Omicrons, I think this one is kind of nice to have. Just because, I think it increases cooldown, so that's pretty cool. So that one could be nice to have, but I mean, for the most part, my Amidala just goes on defense, and then my opponent just use Bane on whatever on her. So I don't think that Omicron would help all that much. And I think her leadership, I don't know, at least reading at it, looks not that great like Omicron. for her leadership, so I definitely wouldn't do that one. And that's good about Amidala. 1 Omicron, and she's kind of a GL status, I think, from my experience at least. STAP. Alright, you know what I'm gonna do here? STAP, there we go. So, STAP's Omicron. I think when STAP was added to the game, right, it had this amazing Datacron, and it looked really good, and I'm like, oh, let me put Omicron on STAP as well. But then by the time I have in Relic Tab, Datacron expired, and ever since STAP's Datacron expired, I'm just struggling to find a use for this guy. He doesn't do a whole lot. I mean, sometimes on defense in territory wars, but that has nothing to do with STAP's Omicron, right? It's actually Droideka's Omicron in territory wars. So unfortunately, STAP will be our first dust collector of 2024. That's how I'm gonna rank him. You know, this ranking is all based on my own personal experience, what use I have for units. Obviously, it will depend on where you at on the Grand Arena spectrum, how high or low you are. Maybe you've got better use for STAP's Omicron, but for me, it's not on defense, it's not on offense. So hence the dust collector status. Up next we got Jar Jar Binks. I don't know what to do with Jar Jar, to be honest. Is it a game-changing Omicron? Like, yeah, for the first few months, Gungans were annoying, but that was again all due to Datacrons, and now, like, I didn't put them on defense for the last couple of, weeks of Grand Arena, also here free, but then I just struggle to find anything on offense that Gungans can beat these days, just because there's so many powerful Datacrons out there. So I wouldn't, if you would ask me about Gungans maybe like 2 months ago, I would be like, yeah, game changing, but now, for the last couple months, I just feel like this has to be our first actually nominee for the annoying category, which I guess is suiting because it's Jar Jar, right? There we go. Yeah, I'm just gonna put it an annoying for me personally, at least. Maybe in a few months' time, maybe something will come up, but I don't know. This to me looks like an annoying category, so it's not dust collecting, it's not for the guild, it definitely has its uses, but I wouldn't say it's game changing. Like, I could totally play Grand Arena without Gungans. Heck, I probably haven't used them for the past 5 or 6 rounds anyways. Then we got Saw Gerrera. Saw is one of those Omicrons that I think looks like it's game changing, but just due to the fact that there are constantly some sort of Datacrons that aid Saw Gerrera's Omicron. And even so, Gerrera's Omicron in its isolation is not that great, but then you put like Captain Rex Omicron with him, you put Luthen Omicron with him, right? So that's kind of lifts up Saw Gerrera. So we just have to look at Saw Gerrera in isolation without thinking about the rest of the Omicrons on the team. So I think we will just join here in the annoying category. However, going from Saw to Luthen, if they combine together, they're game changing. However, Luthen, even without Saw Omicrons under Mon Mothma, is game changing. So I would definitely put Luthen in the game changing category. And good thing about Luthen, it same like with Queen Amidala, really he only needs one Omicron. Like, the others are nice, but his unique here is all what you really need. You get extra stat boost and speed and things like that, and then as well we get a resummoned automatically, the Rebel Trooper, so that's pretty nice as well. The other ones, what do they do? Something, I don't know, extra offense or something, nothing too crazy. What does basic do? Again, stacking speed, I mean, I don't know. So that's good thing about Luthen is like he has plug and play viability, right, under Mothma or Saw, and definitely his Omicron. Just one can totally transform their teams, can make Saw from annoying to like, oh, what do I do with Saw, or you know, makes Mothma basically unusable in Kyber 1 to, hey, I can be Galactic Legend Leia now. That sort of levels. Definitely, I would say Luthen, game changing. Alright, so here we go. We got only a couple more left to go through for 2024. Ezra. Ezra's Omicrons are very good. But are they GL status, right? Does he push a team that can't beat a GL that suddenly they could beat a GL? Potentially, but personally we just stick him with Rey or with Ahsoka, Galactic Legend Ahsoka once obviously I do unlock her, so I don't think he's quite deserving of Galactic Legend status unless I see him doing something crazy with, you know, something else. So I'm just gonna put him in there for now, but again, Ezra is almost like TBD sort of category, because still rather new, right, unit, still working out the best use for him. Now in terms of Omicrons, I did, which one I did, was it, yeah, so I did this one first, that gives some healing and buff immunity and things like that. But actually Kanan's Legacy is very good as well. You get very quickly get rid of exile, so this is just very good as well. So maybe you could also argue that this is the first one you should apply and then this one, I don't know. And what does this one do? I wouldn't bother with this one really. He's kind of really like, I think, a 2 Omicron unit. This one, I think it doesn't do a whole lot, I think, at least on paper. I don't know, I could be wrong. So Ezra, I would say game changing, and the reason for it is, now if they do put Rey with Ezra on defense, right, you most likely will have to combine Starkiller with Malicos, and that is game changing because it means you don't have Starkiller available to, you know, take down a trench or something. So definitely I would say it's game changing because it forces your opponent or yourself on offense, you know, to change your meta, how you use your units. It's definitely game changing one. Grand Inquisitor. Well, I don't have to even think about this one. It's a territory war Omicron, so Gil asked me to do it. And the one that they asked us to do was Ready to Die. So this is the one where where is it? So if the target enemy has 6 stacks of Purge, which at the start of the battle everybody has 6 stacks of Purge, and obviously then Grand Inquisitor gains a bonus turn at the beginning of the battle, he will instantly defeat the Jedi, and they can't be revived. That is so funny. And then basically, yeah, and now that we have this as well, Unaligned Force user Datacrons with level 6, that whenever you defeat an enemy you get a bonus turn. So what happens in territory wars with this guy? You go versus Jedi Master Kenobi, you target General Kenobi, insta-kill him, you get a bonus turn. What you do next? You insta-kill Ahsoka. What you do next, right? Unfortunately, I guess if they do have Padme in there, she won't be instantly defeated, right? And same thing with Commander Ahsoka Tano and General Jedi Master Kenobi is a Galactic Legend, so can't instantly defeat him, but still allowing you, you know, to quickly get rid of 2 annoying units like Kenobi and Ahsoka. General Kenobi and Snips is huge because you don't have to deal then with the taunt and anything. You can just go straight for Commander Ahsoka afterwards. But obviously once this level 6 expires, won't be used as much, and I think I just used it once in the last month since I applied it, because not many people put Jedi Master Kenobi on defense, so I don't know. Even if I would rate it, I wouldn't rate it game changing. I would just probably put it in the annoying category. Okay, so these are all the Omicrons that I applied in 2024. So just to quickly summarize, we got a couple of territory war and 1 territory battle one. That's for the guild. We got a single dust collector, STAP, 2 annoying ones, Jar Jar and Saw. Although maybe Jar Jar could be game changing if I would have, you know, maybe all of his 3 Omicrons on him, but I don't know if it would make a whole lot of difference. Then we got game changers, Bo-Katan obviously forcing your opponent not to put any more Lord Vader on defense. We got Luthen's Omicron, and then he basically pushes, viability of Mon Mothma back to, actually being usable in Grand Arena, and then also making Saw Team more annoying, almost game changing. And then finally Ezra again, shifting a little bit the meta of what we do to counter Rey. And obviously once he goes with Ahsoka, will his Omicrons really make all that big impact? I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. And then obviously, no questions, Bane, Malicos, Amidala, for me personally, GL status, they take down GLs, so that's very cool. So, and finally, up next for 2025, well, what else, right? We got Balen, whenever I'm ready to unlock him, not sure when even event is coming back. I'm still farming Sheen and Morocco at the moment. They're both like, I think, 5, borderline 6 stars. So probably still have another couple of months of farming them. But hopefully by the time I'm done, event comes back and I will have Balen. Now I read through Balen's Omicrons, and from what I see, he's also one Omicron unit. Just need it on his leadership, really. Because I think it gives him a pre-taunt and all of, I'm not gonna read all for that. You can probably read it in your own time, but I think as far as I remember, this was the one that I will apply, so just his leadership and nothing else. Not sure what others do. Let's see. At the start of Balen gains additional effects. I'm like, yeah, I don't know, maybe this one with the stacks of fortune, but I don't know, nothing there. Okay, what does this do? Enemies who resist stun lose 100% their meter instead. I don't know. Leadership is a must, I think, for him. And then I guess this could be situational, but probably I'll just chuck him on defense and that's it. So just one Omicron for him. However, Dark Rey, she's the next big thing, right? She potentially could even be like sort of a Bane thing, maybe just Kylo and Rey, just two manning things. So maybe she'll be kind of like a, first order version of Bane. I don't know. She's not quite there yet, but just looking at her kit, it looks pretty amazing. In terms of her Omicrons, I think she actually is a free Omicron unit. All her Omicrons, they look really good, really bringing something that Kylo needs. So while Rey is untargetable, first order allies can't be defeated. So from my understanding, like at the start of the battle, from all the somehow we combine all the bonuses that she has, she can't be targeted. Which, guess what? You go versus Jedi Master Kenobi, Cat does her Force Leap, nobody gets insta killed, right? So this I think is very good. At the start, it will give you much better win rates versus versus Jedi Master Kenobi. While an enemy is less than full health, they can't recover protection. Whenever first order ally is inflicted with a debuff, they lose 1% their meter and gain 1% offense. So this is really cool because remember with Supreme Kylo Ren, whenever your dark side allies lose turn meter, they gain 10% stacking health and protection. So this will make them more tanky if you try to remove turn meter from them. Well, when you apply debuffs on them, they will lose turn meter. So I think this one, instant defeat immunity, and as well some extra health and protection boost to the team, I think is a very good Omicron. Let's see, what is this one? All first order allies with retaliate recover protection at the end of I don't know how that useful that will be. However, this bit right here, first order allies with advantage, which if you have Hux in there, you will start at the start of the battle with advantage, ignore taunt. And what does Kylo like? Ignoring taunts. So you go versus against Jedi Master Kenobi, they can't insta kill anybody, you can just get around the taunt and start going after Commander Ahsoka Tano. Supreme Kylo Ren will be good. And if ally in the leader slot is Supreme Kylo Ren, okay, whatever. So this really is about ignoring taunt, this ability, and I think this will be very important. Also, if you put Kylo then on defense, right, Jedi Master Luke usually easily beats it because Kylo Ren just can't get around the taunt from Jedi Master Luke. Whereas with this, we can. So I think, you know, while maybe Supreme Color Ren did need help boost on offense, definitely this array will make him viable, I think, on defense. And what's the other? The final Omicron. Shock can't be dispelled. Ability can't be revived. Remove 100% Termite from all characters. What? Oh wow. Was there a clause to it? We just remove 100% Termite from all characters? Enemies with bonus up, protection up, shield up, reduce. Wow. Okay. If there is any version of Kylo in the leader slot, in the allied leader slot, all first order allies recover. Okay. So this really is about removing 100% Termite. Maybe this is gonna be the one to skip. If you do wanna skip, where would Termite removal be useful? I guess that's the question. Versus Jedi Master Kenobi not, because obviously we can't manipulate Termite, but I guess could be annoying on defense, right? If somebody's trying to counter it with like Jedi Master Luke or something. So maybe this one is kind of, I guess, conditional, depends on what your use for A will be. But the other two are definitely a must. Well, I guess that you can't be defeated at the start of the battle. This potentially just kind of versus Jedi Master Kenobi, although the Termite thing is kind of nice. So I think this could be the first one, ability to ignore the taunt, and then the second one, you know, that we are losing Termite for every debuff, and then finally this one right here, we've got 100% Termite removal. But personally, I think I'm just gonna slap all 3 Omicrons on her. I think she will be worth it, because then just gives, you know, she basically, you know, covers all the weaknesses of Supreme Kylo Ren. So potentially even Kylo and her could maybe just 2v5, you know, a lot of stuff out there. I don't know. I think it's gonna be very fun to use those two. But anyways, I hope you find this video useful, interesting, helpful. I don't know, just kind of to initially overview of how we, you know, the rated the older Omicrons, and then obviously we had to give you updates for where Marin, Captain Rex, and Afra sit, because they were a bit late additions to the 2023. Going for the 2024, yeah, Dust Collector there. STAP kind of reminds me like a first order type pilot. I looked at it, I'm like, oh my god, it's an amazing Omicron, and then I never used it for anything. But yeah, I mean, overall, as you can see, 2024, for me personally at least, a pretty balanced year. Only one Dust Collector, and then 3 game changers, 3 GLs, so same like in 2023. We had lots of game changers though, however we also had lots of Dust Collectors. So overall I think I did pretty well with my selection of the 2024 Omicrons. So we'll see what 2025 will bring, probably some new Bad Batch Omicrons, but you know, we have Baylan and Rey before then to apply. Alright guys, thank you for watching, I'll see you in the next one, but until then have fun, enjoy life, and may the RNG be with you, my friends.